Good evening, Muscatine. On this February 4th of 2020, I'm Mayor Diana Broderson, and welcome to our city. We are back with you again tonight, right here from the Muscatine City Hall, and glad that you're joining us. We have a wonderful guest tonight. We are thick into budget sessions here at City Hall, so this week and next week, we'd have one guest. Tonight wasn't planned. We had one guest ill, but we'll get him rescheduled. So we will have a shortened version tonight and next week as well, as you let me accommodate my schedule with budget sessions. We've had a wonderful, busy weekend. Most of you know that the Chinese orchestra was here. They wanted to celebrate the Chinese New Year, and they did the wonderful symphony for everyone with a play, and it was really amazing. And what I really enjoy about them is that they get around the community and really interact with everyone. So they came here to City Hall. I wasn't able to be here that day. I had to be out of town, but our Mayor Pro Tem, Kelsey Brackett, stepped in for me. I always love meeting them and doing pictures with them and talking to them about our city and what a wonderful place that we are fortunate enough to live in. And look at the group, how wonderful it was. So thank you to them for coming. This is the 5th year that they've been here, and we had a lot of interaction from the community. So big thanks to them, and really big thanks to the group that planned this event. You know, the more, I guess I can't really emphasize enough, when big events like this go on, you can't even imagine, or maybe you can, how much work goes on behind the scenes making that event be able to be as nice as it is. Planning goes on for weeks and weeks and sometimes months. So thank you to all of those who worked so hard behind the scenes to bring that event here. Next, the thing we did on Saturday was, this is the year of hundreds. I'm telling you, Rotary Club of Muscatine, this was their 100th anniversary. Actually, February 1st was their actual 100th anniversary, and we had a huge celebration at the Merrill Hotel. It was fabulous. It was actually right on the day, and we packed the top floor of the Merrill Hotel, had wonderful speakers. Jessica Whitman, she was on our show a few weeks back. She's our current club president, and she's just amazing, and she really worked really hard, along with, once again, a planning committee that put this event together, and big thanks to all of them. We're fortunate enough to have a Rotary Club right here in Muscatine because of all the wonderful things that they do, not just locally, but nationally and in the entire world. There were many cases of polio when Rotary took on that goal to eradicate polio, and we are down to 33 cases. When those are gone, polio will be gone forever. You know, what an amazing goal. It just gives you chills to think about it. There's only two countries left that polio is still there, and we are so close. And big thanks to everyone for what they have worked so hard to making that happen. I know people who were affected by polio and struggle with what it has left with them. You know, and so that was in our lifetime that people had to worry about getting polio and just think of one less thing to be gone, thanks to Rotary. So big thanks to them. We have, our guest here tonight is Karen Cooney. I have invited all of our new council persons, as you've already met some, as well as all of the new school board members. I just think it's wonderful for us to be able to visit with them and get to know them and welcome them into the world of being an elected official and working on all of our behalfs, because they are all so dedicated and wanting to help and serve others. So this, even though most of these people you already know, we don't know them in this way. So let's hear from them. So, welcome, Karen.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad you came. You and I have known each other, I can't imagine how many years.
Yes.
But way back when you worked in housing for Dick Arrington.
And many others.
Oh, yes, and you and I collaborated. I was at MCSA, or I was at the domestic violence shelter with Family Resources, working with clients there, and we have went way back. But you have done so much work besides that. Now you're retired.
Yes.
You're retired from City Hall.
Yes. 32 years to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Right upstairs.
Upstairs.
Right?
Yeah. And
Yes.
I've been in this office before with,
Sure you have.
with Mayor Dick O'Brien
Well, I
many
bet
times
you
too.
have. Yes.
So very familiar with you.
Very, very good. So now you're retired and you're looking to spend some more time doing other things and the school board.
Yeah.
It's one of those. What made you think about running for the school board?
Well, it's kind of funny. I've had that question before.
I bet you
know,
have.
Where did that come from?
I know.
Partially because of my years of working with the HUD programs and being able to see the disadvantaged folks that didn't have necessarily that same opportunity that a lot have had.
Sure.
And then my last year that I was down at Sunset Park, and I got to work with the after-school program.
Oh.
So I got a chance to be able to see how those young kids took
Sure.
it. And it was heartening, I guess I should say, because some of the kids, you know, of course they wanted to learn. Other kids, you could tell they had not had that push when they were younger. And they talk about by third grade, if you really don't have your reading and things online, how that does. I saw that. And so it made me think,
Sure.
wow, there's got to be something more.
So nobody really helped instill that love of learning in the youth when they were small.
Yeah, and it's
Sure.
for a number of reasons that can happen.
Oh,
And-
absolutely.
And again, it doesn't necessarily
No fault of the parents.
Nine times out of 10,
No.
no, really. It's this combination of things that can.
Life happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's what you still try to do is find out where those are so that you can work with those areas.
Sure.
And so the funny thing with it is after I retired and took a little bit of time to think about what I was going to do, somebody mentioned to me, you know, you could do some substitute teaching. And I'm like, what? Really? And he says, well, because I have a BS degree.
Well, sure.
And I go, but it's not in teaching. I didn't get a teaching certificate. Says, yes, but with all you've done, you know, that combination, and then, yes, you go through some specified classes and things still so that you are qualified in there to be sub. And so I did that.
Did
and
you?
Yeah. And so I had a chance to be able to see it from a whole different perspective.
Sure.
And so that led into when it came time to say, well, you know, they need some new school board members. And I had heard the cry before about, in fact, I was one of the ones because of women, you know, taking the initiative to do things with the 19th Amendment stuff.
Oh, yes, another 100 year.
Yes. And so it was kind of like, you know, I'm the one that says, you know, well, you need to do that. Come on. You know, so I went, oh, yeah, that means me
That would be me.
Exactly.
Sure.
So that's why in the end I said, okay,
How
I'm ready.
exciting.
Yeah.
So how did you like running a campaign? Of course, you were laid up.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Yes.
You had to have a surgery.
I had total hip replacement surgery done.
In the middle of the campaign.
In the middle of the campaign, yes. My doctor even, I asked him, I says, can we wait until afterwards, you know? And he goes, well, if you do, you know, wintertime, falling is not a really good thing to do. So in the end, on October 7th, I had the surgery. And by later on in the month, I was on Tony's show out at Hy-Vee with my walker right with me and everything, because I was bound determined to not to spend too much time off of the trip.
And bounce right back. Yeah. I had to have surgery one time in the middle of my campaign, and my doctor said, I better not see you out there putting one sign out.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, sometimes you just got to take care of what you got to take care of.
Yeah,
That's
when
right.
I saw the doctor last, he says, you're doing great, I'll see you in 9 months.
Great.
He says, but don't fall. And
Don't fall. Oh, I know.
Okay.
And luckily, we've had a winter that has helped with that a little bit. We haven't had a lot.
Yeah.
We've had some slick spots, but it could have been way worse.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not over yet. So you started on the school board. When you guys take office, do you? You know, like the city, we have our election the first Tuesday of November, and you guys joined and have yours at the same time as ours now.
This was great.
First time this year. I think that really helped a lot. But then our new council don't take office until January 1. When did you guys take
It
office?
was actually November, I think it's 18th, if I remember
Oh,
correctly.
very quick turnaround.
Yeah, because it's that first meeting then in November. And the funny thing of it is the day after that meeting, then us newbies, so to speak, Mike, Denny, and I call them the boys,
Yes.
we went up to Des Moines for state meetings. So we were there for 3 days, participating in that. And
Sure.
so, yes, I had to do my best to try to keep up with them.
Oh, I bet.
There, so.
I bet. Yeah, I've got them scheduled to be on the show later, so we
Good.
can introduce
You'll
them to
enjoy your
everybody.
time with them. Yeah.
Oh, sure. You guys have a really nice group, don't you?
We do. And in fact, it's funny you should mention that because when we were doing the interviews for the superintendent, when at one point with one of them, and he asked what we can give him more on, I actually mentioned, I said, you know what, we like each other. And we have a good way of communicating.
Sure.
And I think that we will be able to bring good things to the superintendent because of the fact that we didn't have an agenda or anything
You work
like that.
well together.
We
yes.
want to work well together to do this. Yeah.
That's nice. It just makes it so much better for everyone. For everyone. And really, the focus is the students.
Yes.
So we know that because there's a lot of talk going on, we're merging the schools. So attendance or participation at the Muscatine Community School District is actually going down a little
Yeah, in
bit.
fact, what I brought with me is because we had on a board update on our December meeting, and if you've not had a chance, or viewers have not had a chance, I recommend that they take a look at, if they're not able to be there at the meeting, to take a look at the meetings later so they can see. Because one of the things that was presented to us talked about district enrollment, and to give you an idea from 2013 through 2020 area, we're talking there was almost a 700 students drop in about.
Why do you think that is? Is it a variety of reasons?
Well, yeah. One, of course, becomes and part of what they do, and then try to carry on from there as to how it's going to be. Looking at the enrollment that there is in kindergarten, first grade area and that, so they can kind of get an idea what would be the expectation from there.
Sure.
But we
maybe
haven't had as
babies
many.
aren't born
Yeah,
as
that's
much.
the point. We don't have as many babies.
Smaller families.
Smaller families.
Okay.
As well as, unfortunately, people moving away, from the district and stuff like that too.
I bet an aging population too. I keep having to move my hair for some reason. I think the aging population too.
Yeah.
Rather than being younger.
Yeah.
Then you're not going to have the students. You still have the people, but not necessarily the students.
Yeah. So then you couple that with quite a few older buildings and stuff like that. That was part of the reasoning the board before had really worked hard on it. It really worked hard on trying to make that decision about combining,
to the school board.
Sure.
And I know it was a hard decision for them, and we're going to have some harder decisions, coming up.
Oh, of course.
Which was one of the other reasons why I wanted to be on the
school board. And certainly to be part of the group that's doing the hiring for the new superintendent.
Yes.
Now, your meetings are held, you guys use our city council room.
Yes.
And so they're on Monday nights, first Monday of every month?
It is, in fact, I'd have to look up what the date is for what the time frame for the next
Is it always the first Monday, or is it there more than one?
No, it's not the first Monday, and oh gosh, you're too.
It's okay, it's all right. I told you I wasn't going to ask you anything you didn't know.
And sorry, a little.
I don't know why I was thinking they're the first Monday of every month, something simple, easy.
Yeah, coming up.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So people can go on the Muscatine Community School District website and see when the meetings are. And if, like you mentioned before, if they aren't going to be able to attend or watch it, then they are replayed.
Yes.
And you can also can't they link them through the website as well?
Yeah.
I thought so.
The meeting on December was December 9th, so it's a
That would be the second
second
Monday. Okay,
yeah.
so maybe they're always the
Trying to
second Monday. That
Sorry,
could
I've
be.
been in a lot of meetings
It's
lately.
I know that story. I can't hardly. Do you have one the first Wednesday of every month, the second Tuesday,
Yes,
and the
exactly.
third Thursday?
Depending on what you're
I
going
know.
for. Well,
That's
because
right.
the other thing is I got voted. Yeah, that's how they did it. They said, would somebody like to be on the ag board?
Oh yeah.
And so I was voted to be on there. Of course, I didn't know at the time that meant 7 a.m.
Oh.
to be there for the meeting because I'm not a morning person. But in the end, I said yes.
Okay.
And it's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good. I went to my first one in January,
Sure.
and a good group of people that's working with that. And I'm just learning more and more about how that works. But probably the reason we have somebody on the school system on the board is because some of our monies goes to them.
Oh,
to help out with
sure.
that.
You know, and I think that's something the folks at home might not always know too. When you have like the school board or the city council or the supervisors, the
Right.
county board of supervisors, you don't just go to that one meeting or the 3 meetings like the council has or every Monday like the supervisors have. Each person also has several outside committees or boards that they're on also.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you got the 7 a.m. one.
Yes, and they all smiled at me good on that.
I
one.
bet they did.
Yeah.
Some people like that, but yeah, I wouldn't be one of them.
Yeah.
No.
But-
So, what kind of things we've got? We're more than halfway through this school year, and then do you guys? I wonder if you guys meet in the summer.
Oh,
The school board.
Well, what we've got going on this summer, there is still a lot of projects of working on the schools to get a
Sure.
lot
So
of
you'll
that.
probably still meet even if school's not in session.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that
Oh,
are
sure.
done, during that break time.
And you got college for kids, and you still will have a
Yes,
lot of
yes.
athletics going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
The
sure.
School, if you really think about it, school doesn't really quit. I mean, it
No.
slows down in some
Uh-huh.
aspects, but then there's all the other stuff that happens, during
Yes.
that period of time.
So back to your teaching that you're. Have you done some then?
Yes, I did.
You have taught some days.
Yeah,
Have you?
And it did. It put a total different perspective on things. And I've done from first grade is the earliest that I've done, and I did 7th grade. And so it's a total
I bet
different
it
ball
is.
game,
Uh-huh.
especially on the 7th graders when none of them know, because it was an English class I was working with, and they had to do Lucille Ball's Chocolate Factory of showing how.
Oh, the candy.
Yes, the candy one, where they had to build up how it all
Uh-huh.
happened and break it back down, and there was all kinds of things trying on. And I'm like, you're really going to love this. So, none of them knew who Lucille Ball was. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and Mark Twain. The other one was Mark Twain and the White Picket Fence.
And they didn't know.
And
that.
they didn't know, and they couldn't figure out that concept of why he talked kids into doing the white picket fence for
Yeah.
him. And I'm going, okay, these are 7th graders. Okay, they have to look at it. I got to look at it from
Yeah.
a different angle on how I got to teach them.
It's way different,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I know I've done a little bit with the youth, just through small projects, but then I've taught several college classes, and it's returning adults is also very different to teach because they are there because they want to be there.
Yes.
Not that some students don't want to be
Yes.
there, but it's completely different
Yeah.
outlook for them.
And my first one that I went for was with special needs kids.
Uh-huh.
And it was just so amazing to work with those kids, and it was more on a one-to-one basis
sure.
and how, all of that worked. And so it really showed me from the different schools that I had to go to, because what you do is you literally have a computer system where you look and see which ones you think you might want to substitute for. And so then you go, okay, for that day I'm picking that one. And then you show up at the school with your potential stuff, and then they show you about where the class is at, and the teachers 9 times out of 10 has information all right there for you and what to do. And one time I had 3 days in a row that I had to do for a teacher who was out for a reason, and I got to know those kids. You know, rather than just that short spurt.
Sure, rather than just a one-day deal and you're gone.
Third graders. So by the end of that time frame, they were giving me hugs and everything.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
And just having a ball with, you know. So.
I even love to, every year they have Dr. Seuss Day.
Oh, yeah.
And I go over there and read books from Dr. Seuss books to them. And, I just love it.
Yeah.
I can sit there all day and read.
And that's something, I'm glad you say that, because volunteers are very important
yeah.
to do those kind of things, you know, to help out in, you know, the neighborhood school, so to speak, or whatever, where your kids had been at school,
Sure.
whatever. But readers and things like that is something that the school system could really
Oh, yeah. We talk all the time on this show about how we just could not do the things that we do right here in our city if we didn't have the level of volunteers that we do.
Oh, absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So in your free time, I know you have quite an active free time too.
Yeah.
You're an actress.
Retired, so to speak.
Retired,
But every once in a while
but-
I will come out and try some other things, yes. So.
Sure, because you've done just a ton of plays.
Yeah, over 30 years of doing those too, yeah.
How fun.
Yeah.
And what other kinds of things are you involved in?
I try not to if I can help it. But yes, there are some political world things. There are some things for other volunteer things, which is my biggie right now, of course, as I work at, volunteer at the Art Center. And it's a good passion of mine in which to do it. My daughter works at the Art Center, and she's gotten me involved there. And in fact, we now even have my mother involved, taking help.
All the volunteers
so,
we can get.
Yeah.
We are, we talk all the time about how blessed we are to have the Art Center that we have. I mean, to have a facility like that with the pieces that we have.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And we are just so blessed.
Yeah. We're working on a major fundraiser that will be coming up in June that you'll end up hearing more about. But I'm really looking forward. It's kind of like a three-parter. The first part will actually be kind of like a behind-the-scenes tour. So as the exhibit is being set up, folks can come in and be a part of and see how all of that works.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So I'm sure you'll be hearing more stuff about that.
Oh, sure. And if I remember correctly, Melanie was talking about something coming up down the road with bridal wedding gowns and then mourning.
Yep, that's the one.
Yes. Oh, that's going to be exciting.
So Virginia, who, oh my God, that woman is wonderful in how she does everything. And she's the one that's going to do the behind the scenes tour part of it. And trust me, it's really worth to do that. And then the main fundraiser will be at Geneva in June. But yes, the mourning dresses are anything from late 1800s to I think it was about 1960s, and to be displayed and such. And then at the end, on the second floor, by the way, is where the mourning dresses are at. Because a lot of times that's what they had, was your bridal dress, your morning dress, and maybe a day dress or whatever.
Sure.
And so at the very end, we're going to have an Irish wig.
Oh, goodness, I hadn't heard that part. Oh, exciting.
Yeah, so we got some fun things kind of planned.
Sure.
I don't want to say too much.
No, you better not.
Yeah.
Better not let that slip.
Yeah.
So what the fundraising event will be at Geneva, but they're not going to take the dresses out there.
Not any of those dresses.
Okay.
There might be something, we're working on the possible availability of some other dress or something that might be able to be on display that we can take and do there. Yeah.
Well, are people coming in character for this fundraiser?
No,
Okay.
not at this point. We do.
Right.
What's really fun about trying to figure out on fundraiser that is all the ideas that people come up with. And it's like, you know what, we can table that, but maybe that'll work for something else.
I know.
You know.
We worked to try to come up with an annual fundraiser for the Y. You know, because they have, like the ball, the Hayes Ball, and all the, the new beginnings for family resources. And we finally settled on a casino night, and we've already had 3. This will be our 4th one this year. And we do have people come in character in the roaring 20s. Great Gatsby era. It's so fun.
Oh, actually, many moons ago for the city we did one.
Did
for
you?
a fundraiser for, yes, for, to help with different things for city employees to go throughout the years.
Oh,
That was
okay.
way back when.
Sure,
that
sure.
we had that. And
Those are so fun, though, aren't they?
They are very.
And you're
enjoyable.
so creative, with your Pearl City players and the different
Yeah,
things like that that you've done. So this is right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, and I have another character coming up. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk about that or if that's supposed to be a surprise, but just coming up in February here, I will be a character.
February 21st
That could
from
be.
5 to 7:30
That could be.
at the Pearl Museum downtown.
Yep.
Mhm. We have a flyer on that.
Yep,
We'll be showing that in just a little bit.
good.
Oh, that'll be exciting too.
Yeah.
Don't you just love the new venue? How they totally remodeled the History and Industry Center.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Gosh,
yeah.
it's fabulous. Here we go.
There we go.
Shell Games: The Life and Times of Pearl McGill, Industrial Spy and Pioneer. It's a hard one, not done. This is going to be a book discussion.
As well, yes.
Yes, both.
Mhm.
It's going to be great. Tickets are only $10, and
Yeah.
I love going to the window box at Trinity, even just
Mhm.
to shop. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
ever think about going to a gift shop to shop, but they have the neatest pieces there.
Oh, absolutely.
If I go there for a business after hours or something like that, I always got to go in there and shop
Absolutely.
and I find stuff every time. So you can do that, and for $10, I think you get a drink and an
Oh, yeah,
appetizer.
and if you have not gotten the book yet,
Uh-huh.
trust me, the Pearl McGill book is, Shell Games,
Uh-huh.
is a terrific book because, I'm not kidding you, you can literally almost smell the same smells that she did coming off the boat, and that because of all the clams and
Yeah.
things like that, or where she lived at downtown. You know, you can just literally visualize
Sure,
all that.
sure.
So, yeah.
How exciting. So that's going to be coming up February 21st, 5 to 7:30.
Yep, and there's the book right there.
And there's the
yes.
book right there. Now, excuse me, you can just go to the library and get the book, right?
They probably have a copy.
I thought
you know,
they did.
With it, yeah. But if everybody wants it, you know, it makes it hard.
That's
yeah.
right, because you can buy it too.
Yes, you can buy it actually down at the
At the museum,
yeah, the
right?
museum will have it. Yeah.
Mhm. I like to, that's another place, talk about shopping.
Mhm.
They have so many neat things in there. I think it's so nice to get stuff from there to send to out-of-town people.
Mhm.
I always send my sister
Yeah.
the pearls of the Mississippi, pearls of Muscatine, and especially somebody that lived here and then moved away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So neat. So we are so glad that you're on the school board representing us, you know, and
Thank you.
even though our kids get grown, everybody ends up with grandkids or
Yeah.
nieces and nephews,
And
and
I'm glad you mentioned that because yes, that was the third reason.
Mhm.
The second reason was, of course, picking the superintendent.
Sure.
And the first was of dealing with all the schools in itself.
Uh-huh.
And the third was because I have a grandson.
Yeah.
And I want to know that what is going to be coming up for him, that's going to be something that's going to help his further education.
Absolutely. How old is he?
Oh gosh, he's going to be 12 coming up. You know,
Uh-huh.
Before I know it, yeah.
Oh yeah. So he's in middle school.
Yes.
Is he?
Well,
central-
no. He's one of the ones
That got
over-
that
yeah,
has stayed in sixth grade
yeah,
back.
the sixth
Oh.
grade back, and I actually got that, and he was okay with it.
Was
Because
he?
Why? Because anyway, he was already used to the building.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
so in a manner of speaking, that was not a big deal for him.
Mhm.
Which is funny you should say that though too. So I get my computer for the school board, and I got my first two emails, and I'm thinking, ooh, great, okay, right? And so the first one says, the kids need to be down with the grade school, and this is why, yada, 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 everything in that. The second email said the sixth grade need to be up with the junior high.
And this is why.
And this is why there. And I'm going, well, there you go. That pretty well tells me you're not going to please everybody.
Yeah.
So you've got to come up with a system in your own mind as in how you weigh,
Sure,
all those
sure.
things to come up with the best you can.
Mhm.
The best you
That's
can.
true. And I've been in the same boat
Mhm.
because you can't solve everybody's problem the way that they would want it solved. But one thing that I have found that has really worked for me is typically if people know the reasons why.
Yes, yes.
I mean, they're rational people just like you and I, you know. If you explain the reasons why, they can figure that out and they can be like, okay, well, I don't really like it, but I get it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And I have found that most people are usually comfortable with that.
Yeah. Well, that's one area also that we're working on. Because needless to say, sometimes the communication got a little muddled,
Sure.
you know, so to speak, and so that's why we had some, you know, opposition to what was really going on about combining these schools and stuff. Because I even brought here, even with me, oh my gosh, we have a great big map of West, which is now going to be Susan Clark,
Sure.
and about all the different things that they're doing there to re-evaluate, redo, revision.
And make it fit.
And make it fit for everybody, you know, and we're talking everybody because you're talking, to give you an idea, things like there's wrestling, but wrestling is only for a certain period of time. Okay, but those guys are important to be able to have that, but at the same time, who else can use that same room?
Sure.
In which to make
doesn't
that,
have to sit
you know,
there idle the rest of the time.
So the staff has done, I believe, an excellent job of trying to make sure that we do the best we can.
Maximize what you
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, this year, yes, it's still a little hard as in how many kids in some of the rooms and stuff like that. But due to that trend, like I talked about to
Sure.
begin with, we know that we're gonna come to a point where we're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna be okay.
Sure.
From the students
Sure.
in class.
Change is
and,
hard, though.
Yeah.
And I think you hit the nail on the head, though. Communication and presentation are key.
Yes.
If people feel like they weren't a part of the change,
Yeah.
it's harder for them to get on board.
Yep.
If they feel like, you know what, as a group, we're working through and problem solving this together, it's much more easy for people to get behind it.
Yep.
But we can all learn from that lesson.
Absolutely.
If
And
people
that's-
come
and
out and
that's
say,
what-
here it is, take it or leave it, baby, that's what you get. People
Yeah.
don't like that,
No.
but you know, we're all so busy and we get so focused and trying to get to the end of the solution that sometimes it's easy for all of us to miss that communication, but people just want to be informed
Well, yeah.
and have a voice.
And part of it is, yeah, finding the different ways to do that communication is always hard, because it's like, well, we put it on here, we did this, we did that, but because needless to say, school board meeting is once a month.
Yes.
And there's only so much that you can, you know, cram in, as you know,
Sure.
for that area.
Yeah.
And there's not as much of time for input from the community.
Yes.
You know, during that time frame, because once we get into we have time where they can speak.
It's like we got to go.
Yes, yes.
I know.
And the hard part of it is the way the rules are set up is that we're not able to technically engage per se with those folks that are coming, you know, to do that.
Sure.
Which is hard, you know, because you want to acknowledge, you know, so to speak, what they're asking.
Because they've taken the time to come down there to share. Now we will at the council meetings. We will talk to them.
Right.
We won't take action.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
But we will talk
Yeah.
to them and ask questions
Yeah.
and ask for more information or tell them we'll get back to
Sure,
them.
and that's the point, because
Yes.
a lot of times it may not be something that is like readily available
Yes.
right there in which to tell.
Sure.
By the time we go into the meeting, it's a business meeting.
Yes.
And so you're not able necessarily to be able to tell
No.
all those detailed type of things or
Right.
whatever that they
Right.
may be asking on. So it's kind of like, what can we work on more?
Yes.
Not that we haven't done we haven't done a bad job per se
Right.
of communicating. It's not necessarily been the best job that might.
Sure.
You know.
We can always do better in that.
That's the point.
Everybody can do
Yeah,
better in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And especially, you know, I mean, I always feel like if people took the time to come down and talk, it must have been on their heart or their mind, and they
Exactly.
want to share.
Yeah.
And we have to get out of the mindset of go, we've got this agenda, and hear them, you know, and how do we do that and still get to the agenda? That's always going to be
Yeah.
a juggling act.
Yeah, it brings me back to this office, by the way, because Mayor Dick, bless his heart, he would call me up and say, Karen, I need you to come down for a few minutes. I always knew what that meant. It meant he had someone in his office, somebody that wanted to hear something about something in the community,
Sure.
but it wasn't really an area that he could really help them out with. So I would come down and I'd sit with them and that, and then I'd go, well, let me go back up to my office so that we can talk. And then he'd be going, thank you, you know,
So, okay.
because he
I
knew,
need a Karen.
yeah, he knew that he didn't
Sure.
he didn't need to be the
Sure.
expert in
Absolutely.
everything. And so
You
then
can't be.
right, and so then part of our job, or my job in a manner of speaking, because sometimes it wasn't necessarily housing
Sure.
issues, but some of those outlining issues where I would talk to you guys about or something, you know, MCSA or county,
Sure.
any of all those number of
Any
people.
kind of a referral, or just to listen to
Right.
them.
Right, and that's part of the point.
Yes.
And so I take that mentality and try to think about that same thing as we're looking at the school and school board, you know, to try to see, okay, what is it they're really saying? What is
Sure.
it the really need is
Sure.
about, you know,
Yeah.
with it.
We're so blessed to have you on the school board,
Well,
Karen.
thank you.
You know, I think you are just the epitome of who we want there. You know, making decisions on behalf of our youth and making sure that the budget is where it needs to be, that safety is the utmost concern, and the children's education is top notch and high level, and wanting to work with everybody. I mean, what else could we ask for?
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate
I mean it wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Exactly what we need. We're so glad to have you on there.
Thank you.
So, looking forward to a full year
Yep.
of having school board under your belt and getting all acclimated to everything and
Yeah.
making some tough decisions as you go forward. You just hired a new school superintendent. That's a big job. We're in the middle of looking for a new city administrator.
Yeah.
It's a tough job,
It
but
is. It is. We had a wonderful group that helped us, McPherson and Jacobson, that helped us kind of do a stakeholder input
Yes.
thing.
We got an RFP
and-
out for that.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And to me, that was really cool.
Uh-huh.
Because, in fact, I was a part of it because I was
Sure.
still trying for school board at the time. And so they ended up giving us some great information afterwards, kind of giving us an idea where the different groups thought about things. And I thought you'd even like to hear the fact about the good things about our community.
Sure.
You know, they had a spot for that, not only for a good thing about our district, but
Sure.
for the community. And so, for example, our students even said that they think that dog park and the soccer complex, that the kind adults, MCC, local teachers help us out with dual credits, that the theater and big business foundations helping out. And the big thing that I noticed then when I'm going through this, the theme, and that was, one is businesses helping us out,
Oh, yes.
and that we have a good support system, because even though we're a small community, and we have many big picture style items, you know, like, say the dog park, the complex, soccer complex, and, Kent Stein.
Art
and all
center.
that kind of things. Yes,
Yes.
art center. We have all of
New
those
library,
things, and
yeah.
new library, the why, all those kind of things.
Sure.
Which is the other thing that when we talked to the superintendent candidates, we made sure we pushed some of those things for them, so they knew on what things we
Absolutely.
had in the community.
Absolutely.
So
We're not
that's
just
the
lucky to
thing.
get them, they're lucky to get us.
That's
We're a great place.
exactly,
We're a great
exactly.
place to live and work and
Yeah.
raise your family.
Yeah, well, in fact, it's interesting. Clint Christensen, who we have for our superintendent, I think everybody's going to really like him. I really do. And he's originally from around the area, even in the Quad Cities, and so that was part of the idea.
Sure.
He wanted to come back to this area, and so when he saw that Muscatine had the opening, so it's kind of
Very good.
it's a win-win.
Yeah.
For
Sure.
us. And he's got kids that will be in the school system
That's
and
great.
stuff too. So
That's great.
yeah. we're working
Looking
on,
forward to meeting him.
Yep,
Yep.
you will.
Very
You will.
good.
I think the whole community will have
Sure.
good opportunity to
Sure. Very good. Well, thank you, Karen. Thanks for stepping up. You know, we need people in the community to step up and take on things like this so that they can give back to the community. And you've lived and worked here as long as I can ever remember.
Yeah, we won't ask what my age is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now you want to give back and help everyone else.
All right.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, as we get ready to close out tonight, we have a couple things I just wanted to share with you. This is tax season, and MCSA has a free filing thing that they're doing in collaboration with United Way starting February 7th, which is Friday. You can go to MCSA, go ahead and look it up on their website or go on their Facebook page. There's like a whole week when they're going to be there at all different times. Computers will be there, help will be there so that you can ask questions. Bring all your business with you and just sit there and do your taxes for free. And they will get directly deposited into your bank account, and you'll have your money in 3 weeks, they say, according to the Today Show this morning. So get on there and get that and get your stash built back up where we all like it to be. Let's see, Wine and Dine Saturday, this Saturday, February 8th. That's a fundraiser done at Hy-Vee, and it is over in their marketplace, and the chef puts on a fabulous 5-course meal, and they bring out wine paired with each one of the courses. It's a wonderful evening. I've been there several times. Tickets are $50 per person. All the proceeds go to helping the teen programs at the YMCA build character. So we always say there's not a lot for the kids to do, and why doesn't anybody do stuff with the kids? Well, Amy Hessel is doing stuff with the kids. She is putting together all kinds of programs to build caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility, to be right there with the youth and help lead and guide them and give them fun things to do and be involved and learn team building and skill building and all these things. That's what the money's going to go for. So get your ticket, call Amy at the Y, or just call the Y in general. It's this Saturday, February 8th, and there's also babysitting going to be happening at the Y. So you could take the kids, drop them off at the Y, go over to the Hy-Vee Market Grill. You will love it. It's amazing. And then go back and pick the kids up and just have a wonderful date night with your loved one. Let's see, next week we are going to hear from John Gendrich. So I'm making my way through the school board members and the city council. So John Gendrich, you'll hear from him next week. He is our new 5th Ward councilman. And I know you probably know him, but you're going to want to hear from him as well. The following week, we're going to be out and about. You know, every year, the Special Olympics play a basketball game against the police and firemen. It's a fun evening. Tony Loconzo is going to be refereeing the game, and we're going to chat with him before the game and then film the game so you'll be able to watch it. It's such a nice time, and everybody really enjoys themselves. So that'll be the following week. Remember that there is a regular city council meeting this week at 7, and just to save the date, the next Coffee with the Mayor is Friday, February 28th at Hy-Vee at 9 a.m. Just stop on over and have a cup of coffee with us. We met there last week as well, just sat around and had coffee and just talked about different things going on in our city. We are so glad that you joined us. We're thankful that Karen Cooney came and visited with us tonight. Please feel free to reach out to her if you have any questions. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you. Have a wonderful week, and please join us here next week on Our City.